Anxiety will always ruin your days. Let's read this chapter and find out how to end your anxiety once and for all. Today I'll be reading the chapter 13 of the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. Chapter 13. End anxiety. Rule your mind or it will rule you. Horace. Anxiety is what happens when your habit of worrying spirals out of control. As a lifelong anxiety sufferer, I know all too well the grip it can hold on you and how scary it can feel. I also know how to beat it. Using the 5-second rule in combination with a strategy called reframing is the answer. The key to beating anxiety is understanding it. You can catch it right as it kicks in and reframe it. You will stabilize your thoughts before your mind escalates into full-blown panic. And over time, you will use the 5-second rule over and over. Your anxiety will weaken and become what it started. Out as simple worries. As you just learned, the habit of worry is easy to break. I think I was born anxious. As a child, my parents said I had a nervous stomach, and I worried about everything. I was that kid at camp who was so homesick she had to go home early. As a college student, my face would turn as red as a tomato when I got called on. I relied on liquid courage to talk to hot guys at parties because without alcohol, I'd get stress hives on my neck. The panic attacks started in my early 20s when I began law school. A panic attack feels like you are about to have a heart attack and can happen for two reasons. One, because you have something scary to do, public speaking, facing an ex, getting on airplane. Or two, for no reason at all. If you've never had a panic attack, here's the best way to describe them. It's when your mind and body have a near-miss experience that's totally out of context. Allow me to explain using a really simple analogy. Normal panic versus panic attacks. There will be tens of times in your life when you will panic and it will be completely normal. Let's say you are driving a car and are about to change lanes on the highway. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a car races by you and cuts you off. You swerve to get out of the way, but they nearly miss you. When a near miss happens on the highway, you feel a surge of adrenaline race through your body. Your heart races, your breath speeds up, your cortisol surges. Your body goes into a state of hyper alertness so you can take control of the car. You might even get a little sweaty. As soon as your body freaks out, it triggers your mind to find a reason why your body is so agitated. In this example on the highway, your brain knows you almost got into a car crash and that's why your body freaked out. That truck almost hit us. I understand why she is panicked. Everything is okay. Well, this is a picture of how we think of ourselves. When your mind has an explanation for why your body just freaked out, it won't escalate the anxiety. Your mind will always allow your body to calm down because it knows the danger has passed. Your life will go back to normal and you will be a little more cautious when you change lanes next time. When you have a panic attack, that same near-miss sensation rushes your mind and your body without any warning and with no preceding event. You will be standing in your kitchen pouring a cup of coffee, and out of nowhere, you have a sudden surge of adrenaline race through your body, just like what happened when that car nearly missed you on that highway. Your heart races, your breath speeds up, you might get a little sweaty, your cortisol surges, your body goes into a state of hyper awareness. Now that your body is in an aroused state, your mind is going to race to understand why. If you don't have a legitimate reason why, your mind will think you must be in actual danger. Your mind will go prehistoric on you and escalate the fear, thinking that danger is imminent. As your heart starts to race, your mind races for an explanation so it can make sense of what's happening to your body and decide how to protect you. Maybe I'm having a heart attack. Maybe I don't want to get married next month after all. Maybe I'm getting fired. Maybe I'm dying. I was just making coffee and now I feel like I'm having a panic attack. That's what your body thinks. And your brain, what the hell is going on? There must be something wrong. That's what your brain thinks. If your mind can't find a suitable explanation, you will make the anxiety worse, so that you will want to physically run away from the situation and leave the room. If you've ever seen someone have a panic attack, they freak out, dart around, have scattered thoughts, a deer in the headlights look. Suddenly, to leave the room. It's a vicious cycle, and one I was trapped in for years. For a long time, I understood neither the difference between normal panic and panic attacks, nor the role that my mind was playing in escalating my anxiety. I went to therapists and tried all kinds of cognitive techniques to try to stop myself from panicking. It got so bad that I became afraid of the panic attacks themselves. And that fear, of course, just made me have more panic attacks. Finally, I just medicated myself with Zoloft, a miracle drug. Zoloft worked wonders for me for almost 2 decades. And if you are in a hole you can climb out of, get professional help, possibly drugs. While not a substitute for therapy, they can be life-changing. I assumed that I would just take Zoloft for the rest of my life. And then we had kids, and all three of them started to struggle with their own form of anxiety. It was beyond mere worrying. The anxiety was impacting their lives. They stopped doing sleepovers, slept on the floor of our bedroom, and were worried about everything. Oakley called his panicky state Oliver, and our daughter Sawyer called her anxiety a what-if loop. She once turned to me and said, "It's like there's this what-if loop in my head, and once I start thinking about all the what-ifs, I get stuck thinking about all the what-ifs and I can't get out of it, because there are always what-ifs." I knew how scary it was to suffer from it, and it was downright heartbreaking to see our kids struggling and afraid. It was very eye-opening and frustrating trying to help them deal with their anxiety because nothing worked. We went to specialists and tried all kinds of techniques. We set up games with prizes for them to face their fears. It just seemed to get worse. I came off Zoloft so I could face my own anxiety head-on without the help of drugs. I wanted to understand it better and figure out how to beat it, so I could help my kids figure out ways to beat theirs. Here's what I learned. Trying to calm down does not work. I've spent countless hours with therapists who have told me and the kids to just change the channel and think about something else. That works if you are a merely worried person. But on its own, that strategy doesn't work for full-blown anxiety. And there's a reason. When you feel anxious, you are in a state of physical agitation. When you tell a person to calm down, you are asking someone to go from 60 miles per hour to 0 miles per hour. It's like trying to stop a freight train by throwing a boulder in front of it. It will jump off the track. A study in the journal Behavior Research and Therapy showed that people who naturally try to suppress their unwanted thoughts end up being more distressed by sad thoughts. That's right. When you try to tell yourself to just calm down, you make the anxiety worse because you are fighting against it. When you understand how panic works, what it is, and the role your brain has in making it worse, you can beat it. There are two strategies that work incredibly well together: using the 5-second rule to assert control over your mind, and then reframing the anxiety as excitement, so that your brain doesn't escalate it into full-blown panic and your body can calm down. Here's how to do it. Excitement and anxiety feel the same in your body. I first used this reframing strategy as a public speaker. I got a lot of questions about public speaking and specifically how did I get over my fears and nerves about public speaking. My answer always surprised people. I have never gotten over my fears and nerves. I just used them to my advantage. I speak for a living. A lot. In 2016, I was named the most booked female speaker in America, 98 notes in 1 year. Amazing. Did I get nervous? Absolutely. Every single time. But here's the trick. I don't call it nerves, I call it excitement. Because psychologically, Anxiety and excitement are the exact same thing. Let me say that again. Fear and excitement are the exact same thing in your body. The only difference between excitement and anxiety is what your mind calls it. Like the near miss example, if your brain has a good explanation for why your body is freaking out, it won't escalate things. The first time I ever really gave a legitimate speech was that tech talk in San Francisco. I remember standing backstage, listening to one PhD after another PhD give their talks, thinking to myself, this is the dumbest thing I've ever gotten myself into. I'm going to sound like a complete moron compared to these smart people. My palms were sweaty, my heart was racing, my face was hot, my armpits were dripping like Niagara Falls. My body was preparing for action. It was getting ready to do something, but I told myself that I was nervous. I labeled all those sensations as a sign that something bad was about to happen, and the nerves got worse. Want to know something wild? 6 years and hundreds of speeches later, I still feel the exact same things in my body backstage. My palms sweat, my heart races, my face gets hot, my armpits start dripping. Psychologically, I'm in a state of arousal. I'm about to go into action and my body is getting ready. I feel the exact same thing as fear. I just channel it into a positive direction. The more speeches I give, the more comfortable and confident I became about what I was saying. But as I gained confidence in my ability, I noticed that the feelings in my body didn't disappear. That's when it dawned on me that maybe this was just my body's way to get ready to do something cool. So I started telling myself that I was getting excited instead of calling it nervousness. Say you're excited. I never knew my trick had some serious science behind it. It's called anxiety reprisal. Reframing your anxiety as excitement really works. It is as simple as it is powerful. Harvard Business School professor Alison Woodbrooks has conducted study after study to prove that it not only works to lower anxiety, it actually makes you perform better in math tests, speaking, and so forth. In a nutshell, since anxiety is a state of arousal, it's much easier to convince your brain that all those nervous feelings are just excitement rather than to try to calm yourself down. When using this technique in experiments, ranging from singing karaoke to giving a speech, on camera to taking a math test, participants who said I'm excited did better in every single challenge than those participants who said I'm anxious. Reframing your nervous into enthusiasm works, just as Susie did. She used the 5-second rule to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and kept that feeling in her stomach from stopping her. Susie Helmlinger, my husband and I are planning to get out of our comfort spot in a big way. He is going to retire soon, and we're looking into moving across country to the East Coast. Every time I get that feeling in my stomach, you know the one, fear of change. I remember the 5-second rule and make a list of stuff I have to do, check them off one by one. It's taking us a little closer to our dream. Thank you for your inspiration. Now here's the catch about telling yourself I'm excited. It doesn't actually lower the feeling surging through your body. It just gives your mind an explanation that empowers you. That way, the nervous feelings do not escalate. You stay in control and the agitation in your body will start to calm down as you begin to move. Another picture. I'm so excited to do something blah blah blah. And the brain will think, oh, she's just excited. Nothing to worry about. The next time you have a panic attack while making coffee, experience stage fright, have pre-game jitters, or are worrying about a big exam or a job interview, use the 5-second rule and this new research to beat your anxiety. As soon as you feel the anxiety take over your body, take control of your mind, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just start telling yourself, I'm so excited, and push yourself to move forward. This is what J. Greg did when he reframed his feelings in order to beat anxiety. J. Greg Morrison. I have reframed this hesitation as an opportunity to get going on my walk. In those 5 seconds, even though I don't feel like it, I have allowed this not feeling like it to become a full-blown anxiety disorder And I truly think that your talks have helped me find a way to get unstuck. Finally, so thank you for helping me to reframe these feelings of never feeling like it as normal rather than neurotic. The physical impact, the push, is critical and it begins with counting. Exciting yourself allows your prefrontal cortex to take control and focus on a positive explanation. When you first start using this strategy, you might have to repeat it 27 times in 1 hour. The first time our 11-year-old used it to beat his anxiety about sleeping over at a friend's house, he said, "I'm excited to sleep over and over for the entire 6 mile drive. Bless his little heart. When I pulled into Quinn's driveway, I put the car in park and said, "How are you doing?" He responded, "My heart is still racing and my stomach feels funny, but I'm excited to sleep over." That was 6 months ago. His anxiety about sleepovers is gone. He's now actually excited. And that's the power of this tool. It truly works. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think. A.A. Milne. Okay, that is all for chapter 13. Tomorrow I'll be reading chapter 14, Beat Fear. So please try to subscribe and like and follow my TikTok, my YouTube account, my YouTube channel, so that I can keep reading books that can help you overcome all your problems. This is Daniel, Danny the Reader. See you in the next one.